religious people, you know, some people can't believe things they can't see. You know, you can't expect people to believe in God or Satan if they can't physically see it. Why would you believe anything if you can't see it? I mean, that's like a relative saying, well, um, I saw pink unicorns, and pink unicorns are real. Would I believe that person? I don't think so. So, you can't convince everybody, you know, that, um, that your God or Satan exists because we can't see it. Not everybody's gonna believe you. Not everybody's gullible. Um, and here's your problem with your God. You know, if your God is all-knowing, all-powerful, all-knowing, the word's all-knowing. That means He knows every single human in the extent of the face of the earth or planet, what they're gonna turn up, what they're gonna be. Why would God make people atheists? Why would God make people lose their faith? You say free will, but if God is divine and God exists and knows everything, there would be no atheists. Why would God create Satan? If God knows everything, why would God create Satan? Why would God create the evil? Did He just want to test people? But why would He want to do that? That's a vicious test to destroy the world. Seems like God is the bad one. But then again, you know, when I read about this God, Satan, it's just adult fairy tales. It doesn't make any sense. And what the people give reasons for all this stuff that look answered for doesn't even make sense. it, it doesn't make any sense. You know, why would a God create Satan? Think about it. If God didn't create Satan, there would be no evil. Why would God create evil? I mean, if God is the head honcho of the whole universe, why would He create evil? There's no need for evil. Imagine it if God didn't create evil. You know how much incredible the world would be? There would be no evil. We're talking about no evil, no wars, nothing. Why worship a God that created evil? You think he created you? Well, what's the point of being created if you have to live in a world of evil? I wouldn't want to be created. Would you want to be created? You say you enjoy life. Yeah, but why wouldn't you, why wouldn't you enjoy life without the evil? Why did God create the evil? And what makes Satan the evil one? What makes God the good one? God killed 2.3 million people, Satan killed 10. And the reasons apologists give, they blame it on humans. But if God can control everything, how can you blame it on humans? If God knows everything, if God is the whole, what is it, omniscient, omnipresent, all-knowing, the master of the masters. Is it right to kill for jealousy? Okay, Satan is jealous. Does God have to torment and just annihilate Satan? Like I think it's best like this: a rational person with a rational mind read this stuff. Hell, you don't have to read the book cover to cover. You can just read a couple of the lines, and I mean, it just our brain is too advanced. Why would God create humans with brains and he 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 knew that people would doubt him. What is this, testing ground? You know, you have to ask yourself all these questions. It just doesn't make any sense. I could just read a few passages. People say you have to read cover to cover. I can just read a few passages and I'm like, this shit is just fairy tales. It just doesn't make fucking sense. Fucking get angels flying in the fucking air. Fucking Satan, Lucifer, and fucking God. And, you know what the funny thing is? God's appearance doesn't appear, but Satan has an appearance. We know what Satan looks like, right? The horned, like a devil, horned. Why doesn't God show what his image looked like? Making it so mysterious. Yeah, even for the reasons that you can Google this stuff and read what because it's like majorities from apologists, doesn't even make any sense. The reasons, it's ridiculous. And people, and sin can't exist because, like I said, you know, if you're born with abnormalities, disease, or whatever, how are you responsible for sin? You can do nothing. You're just born. This throws God out of the picture. Doesn't make any sense. So all the reasons apologists give doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to a rational-minded person. It makes sense to people who are not rational-minded. So this means, why would God create geniuses? If the God seriously wanted you to worship and believe in it and everything, why would God create people with doubts? Doubts of his existence. Why would God have not divine knowledge when you were born? Think about it this way. If God wrote this amazing book, everybody would be a believer. Why is not everybody a believer? You can throw the free will in there, but if God wrote this eternal book, why wouldn't everybody be a believer? This book is not good enough. You know? There's too many problems in it, too many contradictions. We don't believe. It comes down to evidence. We need physical evidence. Either Satan or God, as well as the angels. So, you religious people might be able to convince non-believers, but you can't convince all the non-believers. Not convincing me. Show me the physical evidence. But you say God is only personal. What will happen if people don't want to believe in it? Show me Satan. Let's physically see this stuff. The God particle. Dark energy, dark matter is God. It's all around us. It's in our home. Do you religious people talk to the dark energy, dark matter? Or why wouldn't it call light energy light matter? Why would it be dark? Dark energy, dark matter is God. Why would it say dark? Wouldn't it be like Satan? But you can't convince me, man. And people say, why are people against God if we don't even believe in Him? Well, show us the evidence, the physical evidence, then we could believe you. But even if you show me the physical evidence, I wouldn't be. I wouldn't practice religion or worship. There's too many problems with the God. I would say, okay, get your physical evidence, but some people would turn believers, but I actually wouldn't. They can do what they want. I don't have a death wish. I think it's called pride. Like Henry Wallace, he decided to die with pride. If I had to go to hell, I'd go to hell with pride. But see, the thing is, it's never going to be shown. There's never ever going to be proof of God or Satan, because it doesn't exist. So, it might be able to scare people with hell, but I'm past that. Take the truth, I was never a believer. I mean, like, when I was really young, I was like toddler, I was like, well, or really young. I read like a few passages, and I went one time to a service, and I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. What am I reading? I'm reading this primitive book. I looked for the date, I couldn't find it, but all it wasn't like a regular book. It was just like, it wasn't even poems. It was like something with numbers and just boring stuff, just like talking how great this person is, and like people said, they really leave the bad stuff out. Well, now we know the bad stuff. But seriously, I mean, you can go ahead and argue that, okay, free will, God give you a choice to make whatever you want. Well, but if God gave you a choice and He wrote this book, wouldn't you want everybody to believe? Why, if God did everything, why would God create doubts in people? This can't be all-knowing, omniscient, omnipresent. The free will has a problem with that. It's not good enough. Okay, so say like if, I don't know, but I seriously doubt it, but say if God came from the earth, obviously atheism, we would have a lot of questions. But it would be impossible, because all the questions you have, it couldn't answer. Or if it answered, it would answer falsely. In other words, we are smarter than God. Even though God is everything. Now, how can that be? Not only that, science has proved the religious book. How can that be? How can there be a God then? The only God there could be is a deist God. But infinite regression has a problem with that, that wouldn't even exist either. But how could your God be from the religious books? And I know your apologist is going to write some crazy ass, you're going to write from scriptures, well, and it's not going to even make sense to us, because we're too smart for that. It's just not going to make any sense, man. So if God's people can get through everybody, or you think can get to everybody, but they can't get to certain people, why is that? Like I said, if you can't convince everybody from God's word, why would there be a religion in the first place? And then you can argue it's a testing ground. Well, the bottom line, if the God exists, we have the God beat. It doesn't matter if it exists, we still have it beat. Because we have questions that the God won't be able to answer. If the God answers, can answer falsely. Because the science has disproven what the Bible says. I mean, how is God going to answer. It's going to be false. Therefore, this God can't exist, cannot exist. See, we're ahead of the game. We atheists are ahead of the game. But you guys, religious people are not. You're scared. You can't, you're not on the same level we are. But you can get there. So like I said, it doesn't even matter if the God exists. The questions we have, it couldn't answer. It would answer falsely. So we have nothing to be afraid of. Nothing at all. I think that's what it boils down to. And for that reason, your religion is false, your God is false. I just defeated God right there. Even if it exists, I still can defeat it. We are smarter than your God. How can that be if God gave us brains? If God is smarter than everybody, how can that be? How can our brain be smarter than God? And then Satan. Why would God create Satan? God is... He's a sick guy, he just wants to test people. According to your religion, think about it this way. If your God did not create Satan, there would be no evil in the world. Well, according to you. Well, forget that. If God didn't even create evil, there would be no evil in the world. Imagine how much amazing the world would be. Think about it. No evil. No war. Nothing. Just goodness. Why wouldn't God do that? I think if everybody was a God, they would create no evil. No matter if it's a testing ground, there is no need for evil, because evil destroys. No matter if you wanted people to think it's evil, evil destroys. I had when I explained to people, I think you religious people are nuts, but anyways, I won't say all of you are nuts, but you're very deceived, very deceived. You know, when I said how to help kids out of indoctrination, the religion says, well, tell your parents that if you're a murderer. Wow. And I said to myself, wow. Wow. What that person said didn't make any sense. It makes sense to them because they think atheists are like the devil. But if you think about it, it doesn't even make sense. If you lived in a family and you were a murderer, your family would still love you. Because they're your family. They would still love you if you were a murderer. It has nothing to do with atheism. They're so twisted and brainwashed. It's ridiculous. It's sad. It really is. But of course, murderers are bad. And murderers have a lot of reasons why they murder. But they're all still wrong. Shouldn't kill people. You know, should never kill people, no matter what. Even if you're life and death, get away, call for help. If you couldn't, you can injure them, shoot them in the leg. You don't have to kill them. You know what I'm saying? So, wow. It's just, religious people are really deceived, man. It's sad. So bones like this. If God created us, why would God create us smarter than his own creation, his own religion, knowing that we wouldn't believe? Why would God create multiple holy books? Confuse everybody. But the bottom line is, my evidence for the existence of no God, the questions we'll have, it can't answer it. It won't be able to answer it. The only answer it'll give you is false answer. Because our science can disprove your God. And not only that, we can ask questions so rationally about all this stuff in the Bible, it's still going to answer falsely. That's why God can't exist. Yeah, we might not know how it all started, but your God and the origins cannot exist. It's impossible. But the bottom line with religious people is you want to put fear into people. But fear doesn't work in everybody. We've gotten smarter as a society. Think about it. Think of how much atheists have, more atheists are becoming. Why would God want atheists? If God created, why would He want non-believers? You have to ask yourself these questions. Your fearful argument's not good enough. Your sin argument's not good enough. Go ahead and post your comments. I will destroy all your comments no matter what. Absolutely. Even if you throw theology comments, it still doesn't make any sense. There's no need for God to create Satan. No need for God to have a testing ground, knowing that it would destroy the whole world. There's no need for that. Bottom line. Well, if you consider Satan the evil one. Some people actually don't consider Satan the evil one. Satan only killed 10 people, but that's with God's command. Satan cannot kill without God's command. You religious people blame God's killing on humans. So putting fear into people, it's not good. Giving false expectation and hope for heaven, which is not real, it's not good either. You have to be honest with people. You die, you die. That's it, man. There's no God's plan. There's no Satan's plan. Satan is not doing anything. If God's more powerful than Satan, God can stop Satan. No matter what, if God's more powerful than Satan, if you believe Satan's the evil one, doing trickery and deceiving. Jealousy, there's nothing wrong. Jealous is not good, but you don't have to kill somebody for being jealous. If God gave us brains, why would He create jealous? In other words, if God created humans, why would God create so much complexity? Why wouldn't God just make anything easy? Why would He give us all the evil stuff? The evil emotions. There's tons of good emotions. You don't have to have evil emotions. You know how much a world would be better if there was no evil? I can't stress it anymore. So I can prove to you God doesn't exist from that standpoint. Now how all existence started? That's another question. Still doesn't mean God did it. It could be an outside force. It could be an unknown force. It could be a force out there that's not God. It could be something truly amazing. Truly unknowing to us. Not even known to us. And we'll get closer to the answers. So you don't have to worry. We'll see if it's an unknown force, or maybe the evolution of space. Evolution. Like I said, if there's an unknown force out there in the cosmos, Doesn't mean it's God. It could be just be, you know, it's hard to comprehend. It could be because it's the unknown of unknowns, you know? It could be multiple forces. It could be, who the fuck knows? It doesn't have to be God, though. Even the atheist experience says, you know, people, you know, there has to be a storm point. It's like, why? Why does it have to be God? It could be anything. People say, we know God exists. Are you sure? Are you sure about that? Ever since I grew up, I'm not even religious. I never even knew there was a God exists. I was just told there was a God exists, but I never even believed it. You know, when they told me, you know, I was asking when I was younger, like, the thunder, you know, and they said, oh, that's God bowling. You know, I'm just to myself, okay. You know, I never was a believer. You know, nothing could convince me. Some people just need physical evidence. It just boils down to, no matter who you can talk to them so much, they need physical evidence. That's what it boils down to. Some people just need physical evidence. Because some people just can't believe things without physical evidence. That's me. I can't believe things without physical evidence. You can say things, you know? You know, purple dinosaurs exist, our little purple unicorns, or whatever. Crazy thing. But my friend said that, they're like, I have to see this for myself. And if they couldn't show me the proof, I wouldn't believe them. That's just what it boils down to. Some people need that proof and hard evidence. And personal experience is not enough, folks. It's not. So, why would God make atheists? If God knows all, why would he make atheists? Think about this. Because if God made atheists, this means that God will make people not believe in him. And we know God loves to be worshipped because he's jealous. Why would he do that? You know? You gotta ask yourself all these questions. And just because we don't know if there's an unknown force out there, it's not God. It can be anything. It's just we don't know. But I say stay tuned. Buckle up. Strapped in, motherfuckers, because we're about to go warp drive with the next warp drive speed. We're gonna go to the exoplanets. We're gonna reach that type 1, type 2, maybe all the way to type 4. And we're gonna know more. And then when we know, your religion will be totally worthless. Your Bible will be worthless. Your religious books will be worthless because we know the answer already. So in the beginning, you motherfuckers don't know. You motherfuckers who wrote that shit in the beginning, you motherfuckers were just plain you lie. You didn't even motherfucker know. Any person could write. Your book is not complex. It's not specific. Any person says, "Oh, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth." Hell, I could have thought of that. In the beginning, well, God made darkness and then to bring the light. Seriously, like anybody could have thought of that. I could have fucking thought of that. And that's how you motherfuckers thought back then in that ancient time. You made that shit up. You know you did. Because you can explain how it all started. You know you made that stuff up. Get real, man. Now, if it was truly God's eternal book, it would be so much more complex than this. It would talk about, well, this happened, all specifically, all science-based. Then your Bible would have a lot more credibility. Seriously. But science has debunked the Bible. So it's false anyway. But yeah, if that book talked about, like, abogenesis, like how shit started, molecules, how that shit came out to be, how things fucking expanded, you know, very specific science based. That could be, there was an eternal creator, have more credibility at least. But seriously, in the beginning, God created the heavens and earth? Well, okay. Anybody could have fucking thought about that. separated light and darkness. And God created the shit, the birds, the plants, the animals. Anybody could have fucking thought about that, man. That's like fucking a teenager could have thought about that. But if this shit was more specific science-based, how all that shit started, now that would be an fucking internal book. That would be a true creation book if that existed, and then your guy would have a lot more credibility, because that shit would be, not even humans could have thought that. I mean, that shit would have been specific. But would it be true? Maybe not. Could have been pseudoscience, you know, that would have actually fooled more people, but that would have more belief until we found out that was the science, the real science, debunked the pseudoscience. So even if it was more specific, it could have been pseudoscience, you know. But science will explain how it all came to be. We'll get closer to the answer. But wouldn't that, what do you think? Would it have been better instead of having that bogus, just so in the beginning? What happened if the Bible's really explained like really scientifically, but it turns out it was pseudoscience because science, actual real science, debunked that? I wonder. It actually might have been harder to bring people away from faith, but it's harder to bring people away from faith, even with the simple terms. So, but not only mentioned that, all your religious books has in the beginning different accounts in the beginning, different accounts of world creation. I just say, if you really, really want to know the answers, stay with science. Stay focused on science. And we'll get closer to the answer. We will. Because your religious books don't have any credibility. Science always has defeated religion. Always. Because your religion, it's dogmatic. It doesn't advance. Science always advances. So your book, in the beginning, God created heaven and earth, created light and darkness, created all the beasts. Anybody could have wrote that. And anybody could have wrote even a better. I could have wrote better than that. This is what, if I wrote the Bible, this is what I could have said. In the beginning, there was a bright shimmering sky, and there was this unknown darkness that God created, and then God decided to make the sky all blue, and then he made light, made a sunlight and a moon, which the sunlight was made of light, and that moon came the darkness. And then God created all the beasts. See, I can do this shit. I could have made. My word is actually even more impressive than that. I could have thrown in fucking like out of the sky, the highest you went, there was infinite infinite blackness, and all these shimmering things were called stars. See, I mean, I could have wrote a better book than that, man. I mean, get real. 4-year-old could write that. In the beginning, God created light and darkness. Duh. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Duh. It's like so easy to write. Anybody can fucking come out with that. It's serious. And maybe, you know, I don't want to say that if there was like an all creation of all existence, how it all started. But that would mean that there was a God, but where did that God come? That would be impossible. Not only that, there's so many planets, so many stars. There can never be a book of creation. There's only can be science and learning about evolution science. But imagine if there was a God, just a DS God, and there was a book of how all existence came to be. That would be truly amazing, because everybody would know the answer. There would be no confusion. We would know how everything started, all existence. Just if there was, but there isn't. This is where we go to the unknown. Dark energy, dark matter. What's before that? What's before that? Stay tuned, folks. Stay strapped in. It's gonna be fucking amazing. It's gonna be some crazy shit. I can't wait. Peace out. Peace the fuck out.